What are the hidden costs that every Costa Rica expat overlooks? Hi, my name is Muriel. I'm a Costa Rica expat since 2018. I come from the Netherlands. I moved here with my family of 4. And yeah, I have made several mistakes by not foreseeing a couple of things. And in this video, I'm gonna lay them out so you're gonna be prepared when you're planning your move to Costa Rica. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is your open invite. Click the icon on the screen or go to the description down below to hit the subscribe and the bell link or icon to get notified every time I upload new videos, always Costa Rica expat related. And for those who are wondering, what is she doing for a living? Well, I built my business online and I teach people from all over the world since 2014 on how to build an online income from anywhere in the world. Learn more, also go to the description, and let me cover now what you came for. Okay, now suppose you have a big beautiful spreadsheet in front of you with the cost of your plane ticket, moving your stuff, your first visa cost, your first rent, maybe the international school cost of your children, etc, etc. But I assure you, the biggest overlooked costs are not on that spreadsheet. For example, about taxes for importing stuff you haven't calculated. I'm talking about health insurance stuff that your health insurance appeared not to cover while you thought they did. I'm also talking about stuff that breaks in Costa Rica that you're used to being able to use for the longest time, like washing machines and stuff. Machines in the Netherlands, I at least used for 5 to 10 years. Here, a lifespan of 5 years is long for a washing machine. Okay, let's talk about the bureaucratic extra cost. For example, when you go for a visa for a residency, people forget that you need documents that have an apostille. That means that it has to go back and forth, get special stamps, and special stamps cost extra money and it takes time. Let's assume that you come in Costa Rica on a tourist visa. Okay, that means that every 6 months you have to leave the country and get back in the country. Now, depending on how many people are in your family, you should count on cost to leave the country and to get back in the country and the procedure at the border. So when you are a family of 4, like we are, for example, that's a serious budget you have to set aside, especially when you live far away from, for example, the Nicaraguan border. It takes you at least a day. It takes you transportation if you use a transportation company that does visa runs. We paid $100, $110 per person back and forth. And then you have the cost at the border for, the stamps and stuff, which is also like $35 per person, more or less, right? So just count that all up. Every 6 months, it's a serious expense. Just put it on your sheet so you know now what's coming. Another cost for bureaucratic stuff is when you want to open a bank account with access to more than $1,000, getting in and out of your account, you need an attorney. You need an attorney to help you open a bank account that can transfer more than $1,000 per month. An attorney costs, so it depends on which attorney you use. I have used an attorney that charged per 15 minutes. I have used an attorney that helped me because he was also my attorney for buying my land and didn't charge how much. But there are attorneys in every shape and form. Do you have a right attorney? For these processes, you cannot do without attorneys. Same for signing contracts with constructors. You want to have an attorney reading the contract before you put your signature there. Count on the fee for an attorney, period. So calculate it in your budget. Okay, this is a big hidden cost when you are using your own bank account, like for example Bank of America, and you go to an ATM, you get cash out of the wall, you pay around $18 for getting the money out of the ATM. It's the transaction fees from outside of your country to Costa Rica. I have checked it with several accounts and the transaction fee is huge. So that's a hidden cost. You lose a lot of dollars out of your bank account just by using that, by getting cash, or when you pay with a card in the supermarket. Just go check your overview of your bank. You see percentages taking out of your bank for that transaction fee for using that card in the supermarket. So that can build up quite easily and effortlessly, and you could be shocked at the end of the month, especially when you are on a tight budget. These costs could be the reason that you get bankrupt in Costa Rica. Don't be one of them. This hidden cost that can make you bankrupt in Costa Rica is especially for United States citizens. United States citizens have a citizenship-based tax system. So no matter that you're leaving the United States, you still have to pay taxes in the United States. No matter if you pay taxes in Costa Rica for whatever, for your property, for whatever stuff that you're using here that you are obligated to pay taxes over, you still need to pay it in the United States. Don't forget about that, please. I've seen people literally like becoming pale white because they totally forgot about it. And here's another tricky one, the healthcare trap, okay? Lots of people count on healthcare assurance that is not delivered. It also happens with travelers when they don't read the small letters, what is covered and what is not. Now, I have experienced myself with 2 growing up children who both needed to get to a big hospital in the capital. I needed ambulance services. One of my kids needed surgery, that I found out that my insurance did cover everything. However, I was kind of in stress on my way to the hospital because that is the moment where a lot of my friends shared their experiences where things were not covered. So you don't want to wait like I did and was like Russian roulette, like hoping that they cover collarbone surgery and ambulance transportation, etc. You want to know in advance. You want to talk to your insurance, read all the mini letters. And often it's a trend that most super good quality and advised expat insurances are not covering dental care. Now, one of the good things is that dental care in Costa Rica is not the biggest expense in healthcare, but still, if you are paying a monthly price for your healthcare insurance and you count on that things are covered and things are not, it can mean big budgets are taking out of your budget for stuff that you didn't count on to be paying. So be warned and go do your due diligence before you leave, please. Also, according to healthcare, and that has not always to do with finances, but you can have an excellent healthcare insurance, but the facilities of providing the healthcare in Costa Rica could be minimal, right? It could be, so where I live, for example, the Nicoya Peninsula, we don't have big private clinics. It's all public clinics or some smaller doctor services, but for serious stuff, they refer you to the bigger hospitals around the capital. That means for us that we always go to Clinica Biblica, and that means that you have to travel there or you need ambulance services, and yeah, you're waiting in long lines here in my town, and the healthcare quality is not super good here. With all respect, yes, there's public services, everyone is super friendly, but for the most important healthcare, emergency healthcare, broken bones and, tricky stuff, you're depending on the service provided in your area, or you have to go to another area. And transportation is often not insured. Suppose that your child has to stay, accommodation in the clinics are not always insured. So you see the bills piling up already. Go call your insurance and go check out what is covered and what is not. I have an emotional invoice, so this is not about this. This is about this. If you are living in a new country and you left family, friends because of a big dream, there can be emotional times that you just feel lonely. that you are living in a new neighborhood, you haven't made friends, you hear people laughing, sitting outside with each other, and you're not part of it, and you're thinking, oh wow, what did I give up in the country that I left for this country? I know no one here, especially, when you're in a stage of your life that you just need a shoulder and there is no shoulder. The emotional bill can also be high. I also know that several expats felt lonely, and especially when you are living on a limited budget, meaning you don't have your own transportation to drive to town, to just go to a bar, to a restaurant, or to go to places where you can easily meet people, or to the gym, or to, places where people gather. If you don't have a budget for it, loneliness is a true high price for expats. Not for all of them, but for several. So I just want you to know in advance that this is a thing. And go figure out how to create a budget that you can go, drive around, go to places to meet people. And also just calculate that finding new friends is time that you should invest. And it's part of building up a new life. Final huge hidden cost. I don't want to create panic, but this deserves to be on the list, is money that you need to have when your car or your motorbike or your ATV breaks down. In Costa Rica, there's just a limited amount of people who do not need an own vehicle because they are living nearby everything, okay? Most people I know live a little bit outside of a town and they are relying on a vehicle. Now, car expenses in the more rural areas, basically every area outside of the bigger cities, right? The roads are pretty challenging for all vehicles, especially for cars. Now, do you have the budget aside for repair? And then if you don't know anything about cars and about how your vehicle is working, you need to trust your garage. You need to trust that they are really truly telling the truth, that they need to keep your car for 4 to 6 months because they're waiting for a part. That is not in Costa Rica. I've had it happen. The car was 8.5 months not usable because we were missing a car part, and this was for real. Also, if some costs can rise quite easily when you are living in an area with huge terrible roads. And besides repair cost, don't forget about DECRA. That is like the test that your vehicle has to do every specific period. It can go every year depending on how new or old the vehicle is. It could be every 2 years, but your vehicle should be checked by a DECRA contracted garage, and they're gonna see if it's in good shape so you can use it on the road. Basically, to check if the vehicle is safe. But there comes a cost with that. A lot of people I know go to a DECRA garage themselves, but as gringas and gringos, white people, it happens, I'm not saying this is a rule, but it happens that they, without any reason, send you back to repair something which is not really happening with locals. So what we do is we pay a local to bring our vehicles to do a DECRA. So it saves us extra cost to make a new appointment back and forth. We have calculated that paying a local to provide that service for us is less expensive than taking the risk and to doing the DECRA test ourselves and having to do it multiple times, which costs you. Just notice. And the same is that every year in the month of November and December, you have to pay your road taxes. You have to pay based on the value of your vehicle, the age and the value of your vehicle. You're going to pay a certain amount in November, December in taxes, and you're paying that at the bank. You can pay it online, but you will not be the first one if you're not prepared who almost faint seeing what they have to pay because they bought a brand new pickup. and brand new cars, what do you think what you pay in taxes at the end of this year is incredibly high. Now, I'm not saying you should panic, but you should have that calculated amount put aside so you are not in shock when you're getting that bill presented at the bank in the most expensive time of the year. That's November and December anyways. So with this video, I truly hope that you are prepared and that you're going to move to Costa Rica with a smile, and that you are kind of prepared for the reason why a lot of people have to leave, and you don't want to be part of that. I would say don't let your financial situation be in the way of living an amazing lifestyle in Costa Rica. In fact, is that Costa Rica is one of the most expensive countries in Central and South America, especially compared to Asia like Thailand and stuff. But you can also think, hey, now I'm prepared thanks to Muriel's video. Well, how about just building a side income at the side of my pension or the work that I do? And for more information about what is possible for you, of course, that's not up to me if that's what you want, but for those who are dreaming about creating a online remote income at the side of anything you're doing, or just as a main income online, go check out the very first link in the description down below and in the comments. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you have a question, let me know in the comments. And if you like my video, give me a thumb up, and you can share my video and just leave your comment down below. I appreciate you. Bye from Costa Rica. This was Muriel.